Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Fall River Clubhouse. My name is Sean Glennon. I'm the Community Development Director for the City of Quincy. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this event during National Community Development Week. This is a time each year when communities across the country celebrate the good works and positive impacts of the Community Development Block Grant Program, now celebrating its 50th anniversary year. Locally, CDBG and its sister programs are administered by the city's Department of Planning and Community Development through a congressional allocation and administered federally by the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. Several members of our community development team are here today. I especially want to recognize Rhiannon Gorham, who organized CD Week for us this year. I also want to recognize our department head, Jim Fatsis, who is here today. I want to thank him for his support every day. Thank you very much, Jim. And looking around the room today and the symposium that we had earlier today, this is what CD Week is all about, is bringing people together and celebrating the accomplishments of this program. Again, like I said, over the past 50 years. Quincy was a year one recipient out of 600 across the country, and we've been receiving CDBG funds every year ever since. Over the past 50 years, Quincy has received over $100 million in CDBG funding, and some major projects that we are especially proud of during that time was the construction of the very first Manatt Community Health Center in 1978, officially opened in 1979, and of course the opening of Manatt's Radiology Suite in 2023, the creation of the Germantown Neighborhood Center and expansion efforts at the center, the funding of an entire suite of job training programs in partnership with Quincy College in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, not to mention the emergency grant program for small businesses that Mayor Koch and Congressman Lynch announced nearly 5 years ago to the day, if you can believe that. Through that program, the city assisted 377 mom and pop shops across the city of Quincy, many of which would have permanently closed if not for that program. And today we are delighted to add to the long list of projects funded by CDBG this building. The Fall River Clubhouse was constructed in 1917 and has been owned and operated by the city of Quincy as a community center since 1925. So the clubhouse actually predates the CDBG program by some 58 years, and while CDBG was not used to construct this clubhouse, the city did use CDBG funds to replace the roof and siding 25 years ago. So I'd say it's time for a refresher. I'm thrilled that the program is currently going to be playing a significant role in giving this clubhouse a new lease on life. In recent years, local community preservation money, in addition to corporate donations, have allowed the city to construct its first fully accessible playground just outside, as well as improvements to the ball field. Through Congressman Lynch's efforts in Washington and through Mayor Koch's support locally, an allocation of up to $1 million in CDBG funding has been allocated for this facility, including a new roof, new bathrooms, ADA compliance updates, and associated amenities. The center will remain open through renovations, and I want to recognize Paul Hines, Commissioner of Public Buildings, Dave Murphy, Commissioner of Natural Resources in the Recreation Division, as well as Michelle Hanley, who's here today, the Council on Aging, for their partnership in making this happen. CDBG is also used for social service programs. And this being a milestone year for the program, Rhiannon again had the brilliant idea of producing a video featuring some of the public services that we fund through CDBG. And so I'm going to ask Rhiannon to come up and give a brief introduction to the video. Before I do, again, I want to recognize Rhiannon as our CD Week coordinator for coordinating a phenomenal symposium earlier today, which many of you were here today. It was just extraordinary. We used to host symposiums like that on a regular basis, at least once a year. We hadn't since the pandemic. This was the first one in a long time, and I want to thank Rhiannon for her support with that, as well as Ward 2 Councilor Richard Ash for speaking at the program earlier today, as well as Police Chief Kennedy. So Rhiannon, please come up.
So Sean has kind of mentioned earlier today, I know about half of you or so were at the symposium that we had, and that was really a way for the different social and economic development partners that we have in the city to connect and kind of share the services that they offer one another. in the hopes that the people they serve in the community can kind of have a more holistic approach to the clients and the people that they serve. So over the last couple of months, we have been filming this video with our public service agencies that CDBG has funded this past year. And we have also included Quincy College, which is one of our economic partners with the CDBG funding as well. So I want to give a shout out to Sage and Slate Studios. They're not here right now, but they actually did this video for us pro bono and kind of gave it to the city. So we're just going to show that, and we'll highlight the kind of work that's been being done for the last year with that funding.
My name is Caitlin Safer, and I am the Vice President of Hale Operations at the beautiful Hale Family YMCA in Quincy, Massachusetts. The mission statement of the South Shore YMCA is "The better you belongs here," and we wholeheartedly mean that. Here in Quincy, Massachusetts, we see on average 4,100 people a day at the Hale Family YMCA, where we see all age ranges from our seniors to our families to our young adults, all the way down to our babies. We offer a playroom experience, sports and recreation, aquatics, health and well-being. The South Shore YMCA also mimics the city of Quincy while being a melting pot within the community of all ages, religions, and walks of life of people that we see every single day. Here at the South Shore YMCA's Germantown Neighborhood Center, we offer a couple of pillars within the community, which is our after-school program, which holds up to 90 after-school kids, along with our food pantry, where we, on average, service 12,000 pounds of food each week, which equates to, on average, about 125 families every week. With the funding from the Community Development Block Grant, the South Shore YMCA's Germantown Neighborhood Center has been able to fully remodel the kitchen that we are in today and be able to support families in need with our food pantry donation. Here at the South Shore YMCA's Germantown Neighborhood Center, we appreciate greatly all of the support from the City of Quincy and the surrounding community so that we are able to do what we do every single day.
Hi, my name is Kelly Banks, and I am the Development Director at Maria Drost Counseling Services. Our mission is to provide professional mental health counseling and holistic therapies that are compassion-based and affordable to all in need. Our organization provides low and no-cost outpatient mental health counseling to individuals in Quincy and the surrounding area. We serve hundreds of clients each year, many of whom are uninsured or cannot afford high deductibles and copays. In 2024, we held more than 7,000 sessions and waived over $450,000 in fees. Access to affordable mental health services and the need for our services have only grown since the pandemic. We received CDBG funding to help bridge the gap, creating our sliding fee scale, which we applied to nearly 90% of our clients. This funding is critical in allowing us to continue providing essential mental health services, including individual, couples, family, and youth therapy.
Hello, my name is Jana Pearson. I'm the Director of Workforce Development.
Hi, my name is Kate Lofchi. I'm the Vice President of Workforce Development here at Quincy College. Quincy College is a public institution, and we serve up to 3,500 individuals coming from the South Shore, as well as from the Boston area. Quincy College offers different degrees within 4 divisions: the Division of Health and Science, Nursing, Liberal Arts, and Professional Studies. The Workforce Development Department here at Quincy College serves individuals from the South Shore area, Quincy, as well as the Boston area, to support them with whether it is college readiness to get them into our programs or with career development needs. Since 2020, through the Community Development Block Grant, we have served 325 individuals within different programs, with an outcome of 75% of them placed into the jobs, which has changed the economic development landscape here in Quincy and surrounding areas as well.
We are so grateful to receive the funding and support from the City of Quincy for the Community Development Block Grant. It has served a huge purpose and has changed people's lives. And the confidence that they build through this grant is just amazing.
Hi, I'm Shelly Hampton with Father Bills in Mainspring, and I am the Yawkey Housing Resource Center Director. Father Bill's is a great place for the community because they provide services and housing resources to those that are unhoused and vulnerable in the community. We serve over 6,000 people that are facing housing crisis or homeless in the South Shore region. We're very grateful for the City of Quincy for the Community Development Block Program, which supports our veterans and the services for the veterans here in Quincy.
My name is Sarah Morrison. I'm the Executive Director of Quincy After School Childcare. Quincy After School was started with just one program at the Montclair Elementary School, serving about 13 students, and Terry grown to serve over 550 children every week at 10 elementary schools across the community. The purpose of our after-school programming and the purpose of Q Care in general is to make sure that we're serving the needs of a family during the out-of-school time hours. So that looks like summer vacations, February and April vacations, and every single afternoon after school. When that bell rings and that household is empty, children need a safe space to go during after-school hours to make sure that they're nurtured, they're getting their homework completed, and that they have a safe space to grow and learn. CDBG funding is really an integral part of our programming as far as our scholarship programs. So for at least 25 years, we've been receiving CDBG funding, and it has been a core base of our scholarship program. The CDBG funding that we receive becomes the base of that fund. The way that the CDBG funding allows us as service providers within the community to come together and collaborate and join resources for families and individuals receiving support through CDBG, it's been so integral and so important to our work and the way that we're able to serve the community.
Hello, my name is Ted Donnelly, and I'm the Program Director of Quincy Community Action Program Southwest Community Food Center. QCAP offers a wide range of services that assist families and individuals throughout Quincy and surrounding communities to improve the quality of their lives and connect them with the supports that they need. Last year, our organization provided services to more than 33,000 unduplicated individuals. The CDBG funding that QCAP receives goes a long way to assist us in providing services to those most in need in Quincy, particularly through our housing programs and through the food and nutrition services we offer here at the Southwest Community Center. This funding helps us to address the ongoing food insecurity that so many families are experiencing and helps us to offer a variety of healthy quality foods to everyone who comes through our doors. Without this funding, we would struggle to offer the level of support that we provide to those who come to us when they're in times of need. And so we're really grateful to the City of Quincy for all the support that they continue to offer QCAP year after year.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Lewis. I am the director at the House Neck Community Center in Quincy. The adult programs are extended to the whole of the city of Quincy, and their art programs. We do a painting class, we do gardening classes, we just do some informational talks as well. We have kid programs that run once a week and sometimes more, arts and crafts, cooking, woodworking. In the summer we do a program for the July 3rd event that the council runs, and it is the bike parade. So the kids come here and they decorate all their bikes, and it's very exciting. Community Development Block Grant is very, very important. It's very important because we want to keep our seniors in their homes. So those people who do not have a significant other, or maybe they have a significant other, they come down and they have lunch, and there's a good social that goes on here. And Community Development Block Grant is why we have this room, why we can do these things. Without Community Development Block Grant money, this would close.
We'll now turn to the formal speaking program of our portion. I'd start by calling your attention to the 5-year look back that is included in your program. The projects highlighted are just a sampling of what has been accomplished over the past 5 years, none of which would have been possible without the enthusiastic support of our first speaker. So I'd ask you to please give a warm welcome to Mayor Tom Cook.
Thank you, Sean, and thank you for all you do with your team. Jim and the entire planning staff do great work. Congressman Lynch, Senator Keenan, I see President of the Council here, Ian Kane, Councilor at-Large Nina Liang, Ward 2 Councilor Richard Ash, former Councilor Brad Kroll. Did I get everybody elected? And certainly I want to say hello to Michael Bellotti. What are you now? The Treasurer of Norfolk County, Michael Bellotti back there. Nice to see Pastor Wismar and Pastor Law with us here as well. So just a couple of brief words. Community Development Block Grant. I think the key word is community. And when you look around this room, it is the CDBG that brings us together as a community. It helps with seed money. It helps with great grants that perform some great services for the people of the city, and some of these people in the city that could use it more than any others. And that is the beauty of the program, and the beauty of having each of you in the room that are in the trenches each and every day. You know what the needs are, you know what the challenges are, and I know Sean and his team do their best to allocate those dollars as best we can to assist. I can't say enough about the congressman. This is federal money, and I think it started under President Nixon as revenue sharing. It morphed into CDBG, and I know during the COVID and those years, we were on the phone almost every day, Congressman, how to best deploy these monies. But in addition, he listened to mayors and municipalities by suspending some of the rules, and so we can get the money on the street, get it to people in hand. There's a lot of things broken in DC, but Congressman Lynch is not one of those issues. He's a champion for our district. He's always responsive. He knows his city as well as I do. So Congressman, a special thank you for all you do for the district. I was talking to Richard Ash, the councilor here a little while ago. This place has been the host of a lot of things over the years. As you see in here, originally was a social hall for the shipyard and turned over to the city many years ago. I remember coming here for Coke Club bowling banquets and baseball banquets and the old spaghetti and meatball banquets, senior events, the Ward 2 Bean Supper, so many social events on the calendar that this has been the home to, again, bringing the community together here in Quincy Point across the city. So as you can see, we've been under construction for a while. And if not for CDBG, these are the kind of projects that probably wouldn't happen because you're up against funding schools and fire and police. But because of the uniqueness of this program, we're able to do these things. And this building is an important place for this part of our city, and we look forward to getting it completed in the very near future. So for everything you do, everybody in this room, thank you. As the old sage says, for what has been, we say thanks. For what will be, we say yes. Thank you.
As the CD director, I certainly echo everything the mayor just said about Congressman Lynch, but as a parent of 2 students at Central Middle School, I also want to thank Congressman Lynch on a personal level for a recent visit he made to Central to visit with the 8th grade class, which has recently been learning about federal, state, and local government. Congressman Lynch was extremely generous with his time answering all of their very thoughtful questions, and quite literally giving them a front row seat to democracy. So I want to thank you for that visit as a parent. Thank you very much. And without any further ado, please welcome Congressman Stephen Lynch.
Good afternoon, Mayor Cope, my colleagues in government. It's wonderful to be here. I noticed in the program that this clubhouse was actually originally built by the Bethlehem Steel Shipbuilding Division. I shows you how old I am. I worked for Bethlehem Steel back in the day. It was sort of the premier steel erection company in the country at the time. And so I also worked at the General Dynamics ship building facility here in Quincy when it was operation. So sort of a life is a circle sometimes, and it's great that we're able to direct some federal funding here to this clubhouse in order to keep that memory and that connection alive. Couple of things. The federal government used to hand out money in the following fashion. We would either in Washington, we would sort of try to devise the best way to spend money and identify projects in local communities and across the states. That was one way where we sort of self-directed the funding. The other way was to send the money to the governor and then hope for the best. And that's the traditional way of sending out federal money. Back during the Nixon administration, they said, why don't we try something different? And they started with a revenue sharing program, and which eventually grew into this program, CDBG, which the idea behind it is that our local mayors know best. And our local legislative delegations know best about what the needs of the community are, right? Every community is different. And so for us to come up with some, one-size-fits-all solution in Washington, D.C. doesn't work. You end up with, projects like the Bridges to Nowhere and things like that are wasteful and inefficient and do not properly direct the resources where they are needed. So fortunately for the city of Quincy, we have Tom Koch. And Tom, throughout his administrations, has proven to Congress, because this goes through an appropriations committee and we have to have a whole debate about projects that are worthy and projects that may not be, in the opinion of the federal legislature, a priority. And so it takes some persuasion. It also takes trust. At our level, when we're allocating large amounts of money, trust is everything, because Congress doesn't want to be embarrassed by sending money to something that turns out to be a boondoggle or something that is wasteful, especially now when federal resources are so dear. So you're lucky that Tom Koch is the mayor here, because he's built a record of credibility and trust. And from the appropriations process in Washington, D.C., we know that when we give Tom Koch $5, we get $10 in return in terms of the benefits that accrue to the people of the city of Quincy. So I really have to say that it's been a great partnership between myself and Tom Koch, and with the delegation here, our city council as well. We have a great team here, and we all work together to make sure that the resources that we do send through the CDBG program, are optimized in a way that really, really maximizes the benefits to the people that we all serve. And looking out at this group, they did a wonderful job, I thought, with the video. They really, that was, and also artistically, the video was, I don't know who did that, but they did a really good job with that. But it really illustrated how these federal monies make a difference in our communities, and I see Cynthia Sierra, my friend, who does such great work at Mannett Community Health Center, and also, Beth Ann Strollo, who's doing amazing things over at QCAP, and so many. I see John McGann and the folks from GQ, and Peter Barbuto. I'm sorry, the new CEO over there. And so it makes me feel good that all of that good and more is happening because of this conduit where we're able to send resources back that make things happen and really do make a huge difference in the lives of the people that we represent. So I'm honored to be part of this equation, and we're facing some challenging times in Washington right now. There are those who don't see what we just saw on that video, or don't realize the cause and effect of us sending resources and what that means for families. Whether it's, right now, HUD is under attack. Section 8 housing vouchers for seniors, and I think we have at least six senior housing developments, major ones in Quincy, and I've got them all over my district, Brockton, Boston, and 20 different towns. So when you see that, Section 8 housing for seniors is being threatened, or you see Medicaid, and I'll go back to Cynthia Sierra, I think 30 or 40% of the funding at Mannett Community Health Center is from Medicaid. So when you see that There are some in Washington and frankly at the White House, I don't like to be political, but they take a different view of the utility and the impact of those resources. So it's my job to make sure that you all understand what's going on in Washington, D.C., but also it's my job to make sure they understand what you all are doing here and what a huge, huge difference that makes to the people that I worry about and Tom Koch worries about and Senator Keenan worries about and Ian Kane worries about and all of our elected officials worry about every single day. So thank you for hang in there. You know, I know we're in for some choppy seas here on the funding end of things, but if we just stick together and remind those at the very top of the government that this work is important and it's absolutely necessary and it's the right thing to be, morally right thing for us to be doing in communities that need this assistance. So thank you for all you do, and it's my honor really to represent the city of Quincy in the United States Congress every single day. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. I don't believe Speaker Mariano will be able to join us this afternoon, but I did want to mention that although CDBG is not a state program, I know that the Speaker wanted to be here today because of the collaboration that often happens between state funding and CDBG. And I know this neighborhood is very near and dear to him. This is his district. And a recent example in which we partnered together was the Point Webster School Playground, in which Speaker Mariano secured half the funding and CDBG provided the other half. It's just a phenomenal example of those two programs working together. So this will bring us then to the awards portion of the program. And before I forget, I'm going to ask the award recipients to please come to the front immediately following the program so we can take some pictures with our speakers. I'd like to begin by recognizing an individual who I first met 2 years ago at the ribbon cutting of Manet's Radiology Suite. He was instrumental in mobilizing federal health and human services funding for that unit, as well as bringing Manet online at the Housing Resource Center operated by Father Bills in Mainspring. And he has championed efforts and resources for Manet regionally. As one of our joint colleagues put it, this individual is a leader in community health, as a highly regarded public health analyst for the Office of Intergovernmental and External Affairs at the U.S. Health Resources and Services Administration, known as HRSA. He has been a content expert in policy and compliance and was successfully responsible at HRSA for leading multi-sector initiatives to advance primary care access, behavioral health integration, and workforce development for federally qualified community health centers across New England. That alone is certainly worth a certificate of recognition. But it's a recent post of his on social media and the wide acclaim it has drawn that I would like to call particular attention to today. 3 weeks ago, he posted the following, and it was public, so I hope he doesn't mind. He wrote, "After nearly 15 years of federal service, my federal career is coming to an unexpected close due to the recent Health and Human Services reduction in force. It's a tough moment, especially navigating this transition with a 1-week-old and 3-year-old at home. While this chapter is closing in my life, it's not how I will finish my story. To my fellow HHS colleagues affected by this, make no mistake, these are hard times for us. But hard times make better men and women, and I know you'll come out of this stronger. I'm going to set an example for my children during this time that when their dad got knocked down by something like this, he got up off the mat and kept fighting because they needed to see what it looks like to face adversity head on." He ends his post by writing, "Here's to new beginnings and finding purpose in the pivot." I don't think any one of us would have blamed him if he were to take a much less gracious approach to his post, and yet under extremely difficult circumstances, he took the high road. This was one of the most inspiring passages I've ever read anywhere by anyone. which is further evidenced by the literally hundreds of others who have responded extremely positively to his posts, and I have since told him that if nothing else, I certainly see a future for him in motivational speaking. And so to accept this certificate of recognition, please give a round of applause to Matthew Salago. He said he didn't want to speak. I don't want to put him in, didn't want to put him on the spot. This next certificate of recognition goes to another third-party partner, although in this case, the recipient feels more like an extension of many city departments, including our own, Planning and Community Development. Under the extraordinary leadership of its managing director, this real estate advisory and civil engineering firm has been instrumental in assisting the city in bringing numerous projects to fruition, including the Point Webster Playground that I just mentioned. And they will also be providing project management services for the renovation of this very clubhouse. All of the members of this team are smart, hardworking, organized, responsive, and incredibly dedicated to the mission. And I'm thrilled to be working with them on this project. So please join me in recognizing Joseph Shea and the team from Granite City Partners. This being a milestone year for the CDBG program, I thought it would be appropriate to present a Lifetime Achievement Award to the person that has been involved with the CDBG program in some fashion for the longest period of time over the past 50 years. And I have it on good authority that that person is Peg O'Connor from Howes Neck, many of you know. Peg was a City of Quincy employee when CDBG first started. Back then, her title was Social Service Technician in Quincy's Department of Elder Services, and part of her job was to drive folks to and from Manic Community Health Center after it opened in 1979. And not only is senior transportation a program that is still partially funded by CDBG, and has been for decades, but also Manet's site in Howes Neck has been named the longest continuously operating CDBG-funded project in the entire country. And Quincy was given an award for this distinction at the National Community Development Association's conference, which coincidentally was in June, held in Cambridge, of all places. I'm thrilled that Peg was able to join me for that presentation, as well as representatives from Manet, including Cynthia Sierra, board members and staff. Peg retired from the city just a few years ago, but as I mentioned, she's still associated with CDBG in the sense that she's the director of the South Shore Center for the Visually Impaired, which meets at this very facility. As a tireless advocate, she's tough as nails and has a heart of gold. She has dedicated her entire life to improving the lives of others. Unfortunately, Peg took a fall yesterday, which required a few stitches, and so she was unable to join us today. Nonetheless, I spoke to her this morning. She's in great spirits, and she'll probably be watching this later on QATV, so I'd ask you to still give a round of applause to Peg O'Connor. And finally, the culmination of CD Week for the past several years has been the presentation of the Mayor's Community Service Award. Recipients who are here today have included Reverend Wismar, Cynthia Lewis, Cynthia Sierra, and Congressman Lynch. Today's recipient has been a CDBG partner of ours for decades through her work as the executive director of the Asian American Services Association and the Wollaston Senior Center based at the Wollaston Lutheran Church. The purpose of the center is to serve Asian seniors and retired individuals by providing information, referrals, and various social and educational activities. It also allows Asian seniors who have linguistic and cultural barriers to come to the center to meet and receive assistance. Through program participation, seniors are able to enrich their lives and contribute their talents, skills, time, and effort in serving others in the community. Today's recipient also supervises the coordination of an annual Elder Awareness Health Fair, which generally includes representation from 35 agencies and organizations, providing resources and services, including free health screenings and vaccinations to roughly 135 participants per year. Through ESL classes, Tai Chi classes, dance classes, the center serves nearly 150 unduplicated individuals each year. Today's recipient routinely secures matching funds, to the Congressman's point, through other sources to supplement CDBG funding, which makes the Asian American Services Association one of the most economical programs for us to fund. Her reports are always accurate and on time. We never run into any monitoring issues, which I, for one, am grateful for. And so I will read the plaque and then ask the mayor to come forward and present the award. And this is the 2025 Mayor's Community Service Award. It's presented to Joyce Guan in recognition of your outstanding dedication and commitment to serving the residents of Quincy. Congratulations, Joyce. Nobody wants to speak today. That's all right. Well, that concludes today's program. Again, to the award winners, I'd ask them to come forward for pictures with the mayor and congressman. For everyone else, ask you to please stay and enjoy some refreshments and conversation. Thank you again for coming.